Hello everybody. Now, as some of you may or may not know, very recently me and my entire class have moved from class 9th to class 10th, and tomorrow, which is the 1st of April, is going to be the first day of class 10th for all of us. And as we all know, in class 10th we have an entire surge of new subjects, and of course to study those subjects we're going to need notes, right? Now, out of all the possible sources to get the notes, we're going to be using Byju's because their content is quite good and accurate to what we're supposed to be studying and what's there in the book. So, now that we know all this, let's get started with the main part of the video. So, basically what we're going to do is that we're going to write a program in Python which will basically go to the Byju's websites which have the notes in them. It's going to download those notes into our laptop. So let's get started. First of all, we'll have to make a folder. Let's name the folder notes. Now we're going to change directory into that notes folder. Now let's make a file named byju's.py. Now .py is a file extension for Python files, and since we're using Python, we're going to be using a .py extension. Now let's write code byju's.py. So this will basically, as you can see, open that file in an application called Visual Studio Code, and this is basically an app where we can write code for any language. In our case, it's Python. So let's get started.
12 seconds later.
Alright, the script is finally complete, so let's try it out. So I'm just quickly gonna run this script. Now it's asking me to enter the URL. So I'm just gonna paste the URL. I'm gonna hit enter. And now what this is gonna do, it's basically, now as you can see, it is successfully able to download all the PDF files. Now with this done, let's just open the file explorer and see if it has actually worked or not. So I'm just going to open my folders. Now in my folders I'll go to desktop, and in desktop, as you can see, the notes folder is right here, and when I click on it, boom, as we can see, all the PDF files have been successfully downloaded. And if I right click on one, as you can see, it is opening and working perfectly. A slight change, as you saw in the program earlier, it would take one link, and then after taking that one link the program would end, and we don't want that. We have 16 chapters, right? So I'm going to make it so that the program won't stop until it has taken 16 links. Alright everybody, I have made the important changes, and now when we run the program, this should work perfectly without any flaws. So I'm just going to run the program here. It's asking me to enter the URL. So I am just going to enter the URL here, and now we'll wait for a minute or so, and as you can see, the files are downloading perfectly. Now it's now, unlike the last run, you can see that the program has not ended. It's asking me to enter the URL again, and that's because I have set it so that until and unless I have not entered 16 URLs, which is the amount of chapters in science, our program will not close. So I have entered the second URL, now it's running the third one, and in the meantime I'm just going to copy the fourth one, and I paste the fourth one here, and as you can see, so far so good, all the files have been downloaded successfully. Now let's check our notes folder if the PDF files that were supposed to be there are there or not. So I am just opening it, and as you all can see, all the files that should have been downloaded have been downloaded successfully, and with which we can conclude that this script works perfectly. Now just to slightly explain what's going on in our program, So here's our program, and whenever any program or any device connects to a website, that program or device actually directly comes in contact with the website code. And in our case, when our program interacts with the website code, what it does is that it scans this code for the part of the code that holds the PDF, and then it finds that PDF, and then it sends that PDF back to our program, and our program saves it into our device. And that's basically a very simple run through of how this program actually works. And that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching, and see you all the next time.